another location and to another filming setup. I thought I'd be cute and film in my office today because obviously, as you guys know, I have recently done my office up. It was something I did towards the end of last year, and I just thought, you know what, I've never filmed in here, but now I'm sat in here, I know why. It is so echoey in this room, so hence why I've just opened that door, because I feel like opening the door almost takes away some of the echoing. I don't know if that's a thing, like opening the door makes the echoing go away, but it does seem to be a little bit better now. But I really wanted to film in here because I just think it's so cute with a little bit of my sort of like unit in the background. And as you'll be able to see from the title of the video today, guys, I'm just doing a really chilled, laid back Q&A with you guys. I haven't done one this year yet, and I always like to start the new year off with just a refreshed question and answer, just a little bit of a catch up with you guys. So yeah, I've just got myself a coffee. I'm filming this quite late in the afternoon. Well, it's 3 o'clock, but as you guys know, it gets dark in the UK at like 4 o'clock at this time of the year. Not sure how the lighting's gonna go, so I may have to hurry up with this. Anyway, right, first question is, will you do your own clothing line collaboration? I'm always inspired by your style. So I had a few questions like this, and another one was, if so, like who would I want to collaborate with? So I'm going to answer it all together. Number one, do I want my own clothing line and collaboration? In terms of having my own clothing business, no. It is something I have toyed with and thought about on many occasions, because as you guys know, before I did YouTube, fashion was the industry that I worked in. I was a senior fashion merchandiser for a manufacturer, and then I went on to work for Misguided as a merchandiser. So obviously, as the fashion sector was my career, was my job, was what I loved doing, of course, like I've always thought, you know, oh, I'd love to have my own fashion brand one day, and my own clothing brand and website and things like that. But being on that side of things as well also has made me realise how difficult it is. The basis of my job as a fashion merchandiser, if you don't already know, was to basically and essentially see orders from beginning to end. So I would go to meetings. You don't typically do this in a fashion merchandiser job, but because we were such a small company, I would do everything. I would go to meetings, get initial orders from buyers, and then see those orders from beginning to end. So I'd have to obviously put orders into factories, I'd have to work out fabric consumptions, I'd have to order swing tags, back neck labels, I'd have to sort out like wash care. In fact, like there was so much to it. Basically my job was just to get a product made from beginning to end until it's like packaged with all the tags on and ready to go out of the door. So it was a very stressful job, and obviously doing that job enabled me to see the manufacturing and production side of, you know, having a clothing line and making product. And there's so much to it, there's so much cost to it, there's so much stress. So I feel like to be in that position of doing your own clothing line, firstly you need a lot of money behind you to do the initial setup, and secondly there's just a lot to it. It's a job in itself. So yeah, it's a hard thing, and obviously there is just so many clothing brands out there at the moment. You know, you've got Pretty Little Thing, Boohoo, Misguided, the big ones, and then there is a lot of smaller businesses trying to do it too. So yeah, I mean, never say never, but ideally, rather than set up my own sort of fashion company, I just think it would be easier and more enjoyable just to make my own sort of range with a company. And for the question about like what company I'd love to collaborate with, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It is a no-brainer, guys. Primark would be the ultimate one for me, but would I ever get that collaboration opportunity? Absolutely not. You know, I'm a small YouTuber, that's just never going to happen. That's not me being negative, I'm sort of just a person that, you know, I know a lot of people believe in manifesting and all of that, and I'm not saying I don't believe in manifesting things. I do believe in having goals and dreams and, you know, putting action plans into achieving that, but I just think some things are, I guess it's never off limits. Like, I'm not trying to be negative, but there's just so many YouTubers out there nowadays. Ultimately, I feel like most brands do look at numbers. You know, I'm not one of these big numbered YouTubers with 1 million subscribers. You know, they want to go with a big YouTuber because it's going to generate them more, I guess. So yeah, that's why I feel like it wouldn't ever happen, but obviously it would be a dream. But another fashion company I'd love to collaborate with is either like Pretty Little Thing in the style. To be honest with you, any fashion company that I just sort of believe in, I love their products, and I could create a range that I was super happy with, I would be there and do it. So yeah, it would be an absolute dream and goal to make my own line with someone, but I mean, whether it will happen is another thing. And next question, do you find people outside the industry judge your work and job? This is a really interesting question, but yeah, absolutely 100%. To be honest with you, I think you can get this in any job. There's so many people that are quite narrow-minded, and I think sometimes until someone's done a job, it can be very easy for people to sit and be an outsider and be like, that's not a real job, or you've got an easy job. Do you get what I'm saying? You're always going to get that. Obviously more so with YouTube, you are going to get more of YouTube's not a real job, you don't work, you're so lazy. Like, honestly, the amount of comments I see from people like looking down at YouTubers and saying they don't have a real job and need to get in the real world of work and la-di-da-di-da, it's disgusting, to be honest with you, because you know, I get it. I get that YouTube is a desirable job. It's a hobby turned job. Like, I never really say this is a job just because it's my hobby. Yes, I'm getting paid. Yes, it is my job. But for me, this was a hobby that's turned into a job. So, does this make sense? It's just a fun job. So for me, it never feels like I'm working because I enjoy what I do. But what I would say is you can't take away the fact that I still work. You can't just say, oh, you don't work because you're doing a hobby. Does that make sense? It's like a footballer. That's their job. You wouldn't say to a footballer, you don't have a job. Like, they have a job, they go football training every day, they then go and play a match at the weekend. Yeah, it's a desirable job. Yeah, it's a fun job. That's if you like football. But they still have a job. And it's the same with YouTubers. Yeah, it's a fun job. Yeah, it's a desirable job. Well, not for everyone, but it is for me. You know, yeah, I get to be my own boss and decide my hours, and there's so many perks and benefits to it. But I still have to get up. I still have to film videos. I still have to answer all my emails. I still have to sort out all my finances related to YouTube, which is a whole different ballgame. I still have to organise collaborations. I still have to plan content. I still have to edit content. Like, the list is endless. There is so much to YouTube other than what people just think as, oh, they just sit and film a video and that's it, like that's their job done for the week. Like, no, there's always something to do. And I'm not trying to sit here and be like hard done by, I'm like, oh, my job's so hard, because I've been in the outside world and had jobs, various jobs. I've worked in retail, I've worked obviously in the fashion industry for 4 years, so I know exactly what it's like to go out and graft. Believe me. So for example, comparing YouTube to my job in fashion, it's less stressful, I get the flexibility, I decide my hours. Obviously there's so many more benefits because you know, you're self-employed as well, but I just think for people to say that YouTube's not a job, it is infuriating, but you're always going to get it. Okay, so I had to go and change the battery, and I feel like I might have altered the setup of like how the camera is now, so I'm sorry if it looks a little bit different. And moving on to the next question. Oh, I shut that blooming door as well. Let me go and open it, guys. Honestly, this is what you don't see in videos all of the time. All these little things that start happening that end up being really annoying. Where was I? Do you plan on buying a house, or are you happy where you are? So I feel like this has been mentioned before. I do speak about this quite often. Currently I'm rented, so I don't own this house, I just rent. I initially started renting mainly because I wanted to move out. I was financially in the situation where I could afford to rent and could afford to save. If I hadn't have been, would I have moved out and rented? Probably not, because buying a house has always been something that's quite high on my priority list. But as I was so fortunate to be able to do the both, I was like, right, I need my own space, because it was getting unbearable living at home, trying to do YouTube. Just, I didn't have enough room for all of my stuff as well. So yeah, that's why I primarily moved out. And then yeah, ever since I've just been saving for a house. Obviously, because I am self-employed, it does prove a little bit more difficult getting a mortgage in comparison to, you know, the average person that has a normal 9 to 5 and is employed. If you're employed in the UK, you only need 3 months worth of earnings, like 3 months proof of earnings. How is this? Do you know what? When you say this out loud, it's just so ridiculous. Whereas when you're self-employed, you need 3 years worth of books. So I actually have my 3 years worth of books, fingers crossed, in April. But yeah, then once I've got them 3 years of books after April, I'll probably start looking into, you know, what I can borrow from the bank, and, you know, just see if I can apply for a mortgage, things like that. Try and get my mortgage in principle, which is obviously what you need to buy a house. And then yeah, just go from there. I mean, at the moment, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not in a massive rush to move, because one, I'm happy here, and two, there's just not a lot on the housing market. Like, I'm not just gonna move for the sake of it. I'm not just gonna buy any old house just to get on the property ladder. Like, I want it to be the right house, because when I do move, it will be with Mitchell. Like, we'll buy a house together. So, and like I said, this year I'll probably get the ball rolling in terms of, you know, seeing what I can borrow mortgage wise and things like that. But will I buy this year? It probably won't be until next year that I actually buy, just because I might start the process later on this year, you know, that's providing I find a house. But I don't know, I doubt we'll have bought a house by Christmas. We might have, I don't know. But yeah, that's just sort of where I am now with house buying and stuff. And also, to answer the next question, has Mitchell moved in with you? No, he's not. So Mitchell does own his own house already. He already has a mortgage. So yeah, he lives there, I live here. In terms of moving in, because I've also had like the question, oh, like, why don't you move in with Mitchell? Then you could save yourself rent. that just definitely would never be feasible. To be honest with you, I would never move into his house anyway, because that was a house he bought with his ex. So for me, that would just seem, I know this might sound silly to some people, but I just wouldn't want to move somewhere where he's bought with someone else. Does that just make sense? Like, I want us to buy our own place and have new memories there, and that be our thing. Like, I would just feel really weird about moving into his place that, I don't know, like I know it's his place now and not him and his ex's place, that makes sense, but do you understand me, guys? And also, he only has 2 bedrooms anyway, so there just wouldn't be the room for me to work there and live there. So yeah, that's why I've not moved in with him. And for him to move in here, I guess he could do that and like rent his house out. But obviously I do live like 20 minutes away from him, so that would add 20 minutes onto his work journey in the morning. And yeah, like I said, we'll just buy together and it'll just be easier. So that is those questions about moving. Okay, next question. Go to Starbucks coffee order. Okay, so this time last year it's been a caramel frappuccino, soy milk with cream on top. However, things have changed up, guys. So me and Danielle went to the drive-thru like before COVID, when you was actually allowed to meet with people, and she was ordering this drink, and like for the longest time she was like, we need to try this drink, like it's so good. And I was just like, nah, I won't beat what I've got. And then one day I was like, right, I'm gonna try this drink that Danielle always has, because she always raves about it. So it is an iced caramel macchiato, and I have soy milk with it, and honestly, it's the best drink ever. Like, it is so good. So it actually has like vanilla syrup in, and they put like the caramel sauce, and it all goes to the bottom, and then when you're drinking it, it's like milky, vanilla-y, with this like bit of caramel. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. You need to try it. So yeah, that's what I'm currently drinking from Starbucks. Let me know your Starbucks order though, guys, so I always like to try out new drinks. Okay, next question. Well, it's actually assumption. I think I've had this before and cleared this up, but I'll just repeat it. You're super rich and from a rich background. No, guys, I've already said this. But yeah, not from a rich background, and I'm not super rich myself. I am from working class parents. My mum worked at the co-op. She still works at the co-op now, but she works in a canteen instead. And my dad is a postman, but he doesn't like deliver the mail. He like drives a van and collects it, that kind of way. So yeah, that's what my parents do. So I'm definitely not from a rich background, and I'm not super rich either. I'm just comfortable. So yeah, that's that. Next question. You're expecting a proposal from Mitchell in 2021. I don't even know what to say to this. I'm not expecting anything. I think when it comes to things like this, when it happens, it happens. Obviously me and Mitchell have only been together for 6 months, guys, so I definitely am not expecting a proposal anytime soon. But in the same breath, Mitchell knows I want to get married to him. Mitchell knows that if he proposed to me, I would say yes. And yeah, it definitely is something in the future. When it happens, I don't know. Obviously with COVID and everything going on at the moment anyway, it's just a little bit crazy, isn't it? So yeah, probably not this year, maybe next year, hopefully 2022. One thing I will say is, I feel like when you're in your later 20s, things do happen in relationships a lot faster than what they would, let's say, in your early 20s. Because I feel like, for me now, I know what I want in life, I know who I am, kind of thing. Whereas in my early 20s, like, you're figuring everything out in life still. And so then when you're in a relationship, you don't always know what you want, you don't know if that person's going to change. Do you get what I'm saying? Because you're going through so much. So obviously meeting Mitchell now, I know what I want in life, he knows what he wants in life. We're both on the same path, we're both on the same wavelength. So, you know, for me, I found my forever person, and hopefully he thinks he's found his forever person. So in that respect, I feel like things will move a lot quicker. Does that make sense? I don't know if this does make sense. So for example, let me give you my mom. So she was engaged twice before she met my dad, and then met my dad, literally got engaged, got married, and fell pregnant all within a year. I think she was 27. So it just goes to show how sometimes when you just find the right person and, you know, you are that little bit older, things just happen a lot quicker and progress. So yeah, who knows when it will happen? That is up to Mitchell, but I'll be here. Okay, next question. Now this is a really good one. It's assumption. You feel pressure to settle down and have kids in the near future. The pressure of having kids at this age is honestly so real. Do you know what? I wouldn't even just describe it as pressure. Like, I feel like I worry about it a lot and think about it a lot, because as you guys know, like, I feel like I have spoken about this before, but I am not someone that is maternal at all. The thought of kids, I'm like, no, I don't want kids. Like, I genuinely, if you said to me now, do you want kids? I'd be like, no. Like, thinking about actually having a baby now, oh my god, like, no way. I don't want it. But then it's a hard one, because I can't imagine my life without kids. Like, I think when I get older, as in like in my 40s and stuff, I don't know, like, I've always wanted a little girl, so, you know, she could be my best friend and have the sort of relationship that me and my mum have got. And, you know, I'd love a little boy as well. So yeah, it's weird because the thought of not having kids, I don't know, like, I can't picture my life without having kids. But then the thought of having kids now, maybe it's just because I'm not ready, guys. I think that may be all that there is to it. I'm just not ready at this moment. Like, I feel like there's so much I still want to achieve and do, and places I want to visit in the world. I think it is just a case of when you have a kid, your life does change a lot. You know, you are their sole carer, like they are your life, like you've got a massive responsibility. You no longer can just do what you want when you want, you've got a kid to think about. So I think that's what scares me, and because like I said at the moment, I'm not ready for that commitment and responsibility. So yeah, I think that might be all it is, but there definitely does feel a pressure at this age, 100%, because obviously I'm 29 this year, and you know, with a woman, your body clock starts to slow down as you get older, the chances of having kids, you know, decreases each year and stuff. Well, not the chances of having kids, but the harder it becomes, isn't it? So yeah, it is something I do think about. I think, oh my god, like, will I ever want kids? So yeah, I don't know. I do think I will have kids, like I definitely do. I just think what it is, guys, is just not for me now. One thing I will say as well, sorry, I know I'm speaking about this one question a lot, is, do you know what off-puts me about having children? It's people always moaning about having children. I feel like when people have kids, all they ever do is moan about having kids, and then they'll say things to you like, oh, you're so lucky you don't have a kid at home. Oh, you're so lucky that you can do that when you want. And, oh, well, try living my life. I don't have no sleep. Like, I feel like people just moan and moan and moan and be so negative. Not everyone. Like, some people I know love being a mum. And, you know, yeah, it has its ups and down moments, but in general, they love it and won't change it for the world. But I just feel like there is a lot of negativity towards it too, which I'm sure a lot of people don't mean that. But then when you're a person that is a bit unsure in yourself whether you want kids and you see that, it really does put you off even more. So yeah, anyway, that's to answer that. Next question, I've had a few about weight. You're body confident, you have an incredible figure after all. I think, again, I've probably answered this before in an assumption video. No, I'm not really that body confident. The thing is, I'm not like, oh my god, I hate my body. Like, I'm not like that, but I think, especially at the moment, because I'm not able to work out, I can't work out at home. I honestly cannot motivate myself to work out at home, especially during the winter months. Summer, I feel like it's so much easier because you've got the garden and it's nice and warm, whereas winter, it's just so hard to motivate yourself at home. So because I haven't got the gym to go to, I'm not feeling comfortable in my skin, I guess, because, you know, I'm not toned up. But yeah, I don't know, it's just one of them. You know, I'm not really that bothered, but I wouldn't go as far as saying I'm like body confident, that's for sure. And then the other question about weight and body and stuff was, how much do you weigh? You're tiny. Do you know what? I haven't got a clue how much I weigh. I don't weigh myself. I don't believe in weighing yourself. I just believe, right, if you feel comfortable in your clothes and your clothes fit you nice, then that's all that matters. Like, what is a number on a scale? I feel like people can get so fixated on numbers on a scale. So what? If I weigh a certain number on a scale, then that's not great. Like, do you know what I mean? I just think, look at yourself in the mirror. If you're happy, you're happy. Like, you don't need to be defined by a number on a scale. Like, that means absolutely nothing. You've got to remember as well that everyone weighs different. So you could look at someone and they could weigh 8 stone, but that's normal for their body because they're like light boned and very petite and slim. But someone else could weigh 8 stone, they could be significantly underweight. They might just have they might just be heavy boned and naturally have a bigger frame and supposed to be a bigger size, if that makes sense. Does this make sense? Like, I just think some people can look at celebrities or influencers or whoever and be like, oh, I want to be their size. But realistically, they're never going to be their size because they have a complete different build, a complete different frame, and they're never going to be able to achieve their weight either because that's just not how they are supposed to be. Does this make sense? My personal advice, guys, is don't go on weight. Just go on how your clothes fit and how you want to feel, right? Like, if you look in the mirror and feel happy with your body, that is enough to be okay. Don't care about the number on a scale, okay? Giving you a little bit of a lecture here. Okay, moving on to the next question. Have you had any dramas with other YouTubers? I mean, as much as you would all love to know what dramas I've had with other YouTubers and would love to hear the tea and the stories, it is something that I will never ever go into because I'm just not the sort of person to sit here and spill mine and someone else's business on the internet. Like, it's just never going to get you anywhere. And I just think in life, you live, you learn, and you move on past things. That's all there is to it. So yes is the answer. I have had dramas with other YouTuber, but it's just not in my nature to sit here and tell you guys what went on. Things like this can happen with anyone in life, right? Dramas can happen with your friend, your family, like, do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, that's all I will say on that. And then the next question is, do you have many friends in the industry? So when it comes to friends and being friends with people in this industry, I genuinely just like to keep myself to myself. And that's not to say that I wouldn't make friends with people, and if someone was really nice, then I wouldn't, you know, welcome that and speak to them, because of course, but as a whole, I find this industry so fake. It is untrue. Like, I wish I could speak to you about the fakeness within the YouTube community and how people try and portray there's someone online and they're not, and oh my god. So I think for me, because I've been in this industry for 3 years now, like working it full time, and you know, I've been to events, I've met people, I've seen what people are really like, I've befriended with people, blah 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 blah. I have my guard up, put it that way. Like, I'm very aware that a lot of people that you watch on YouTube are not who they really are in real life. You know, a lot of people have gone into this job with money in mind. That's all there is to it, guys. Like, they just want to be rich. Whereas for me, it felt very differently. Like, I never came into YouTube to do this as a job. You guys know, I didn't even know you could earn money from it. So I think because people initially go into it with that intention, they will then do anything and be whoever they need to be in order to be so successful. Does that make sense? Whereas me, yeah, I've not got half the success as all these massive YouTubers, but I don't care. Like, I genuinely don't care, because I am just who I am. And if people like me, then they like me, great. If people don't, they don't. But I'm never, ever going to pretend to be someone I'm not just for the camera. I'm never going to work with brands just for the money and because I want to be rich, because I really don't. And yeah, that's all there is to it. So bottom line, what was the question? Oh, that was the question, is like having friends in the industry and stuff. But yeah, I do have friends in the industry, and there are so many lovely girls. Like, I don't want you to think I'm just having this big negative thing about YouTubers in general, because there are so many lovely down-to-earth girls in this industry, and so many people that aren't money orientated and fake and are just their genuine self, and that is lovely. And you know, like I said, I've met so many of them girls, and there are some, there really is. But I've also met so many that aren't, so many narcissists and just shitty people. So I'm very much just someone that keeps myself to myself. Like I said, if I meet someone, they're lovely, they're great. You know, I have like one really close friend within this industry, it's Hazel. You guys might follow her. Yeah, she's so lovely. She's just a genuine soul, like genuine person. We WhatsApp near enough every other day. Well, when we're not being busy, because sometimes life gets in the way. I also speak to Liv. She's another YouTuber, and she's just a genuine soul, really nice gal. And again, we WhatsApp and speak now and again. But yeah, like I said, there are so many lovely people. But again, I'm not one of these YouTubers that go out my way to like try and befriend people in this industry either, because that's another thing that grates me. There's so many people in this industry that try and befriend YouTubers to like get some sort of gain, or you know, I don't know, that's just not me. It's just not me. So yeah, that is the answer to that. Okay, next question. You think others are more deserving of influencer pay grade? This is a really interesting one. And I mean, of course, like, I think you can always say this about jobs, right? There are so many jobs out there that people work so hard and do things on a daily basis that you look at and you look at their pay and you think, wow, like, you deserve so much more than what you're on. For example, my friend Danielle, she works in a care home looking after old people, you know, doing all the sorts of jobs. To be honest with you, I could never imagine doing like some of the things she has to do on a daily basis, like caring for these people. It's tough, it's hard. Does her salary fit in line with what she should get? Absolutely not. She should get way more than what she gets paid. But unfortunately, it's just one of them. There's certain careers and industries that don't have the money there to pay. Does that make sense? So like, for example, you look at footballers and think, oh my god, they get 30, 40 grand a week for playing football, which is an obscene amount. It's ridiculous. I guess it can be the same for YouTubers as well. Some YouTubers get thousands and thousands of pounds. And is it justifiable? Do you think they should get that much money for, you know, creating videos or kicking a football around? Probably not, when there's people out there that are doing 10 times more harder and tougher jobs. But the reason why certain people do earn more money is because the money's in the industry to go in, if that makes sense. So like with a footballer, there's so much money injected into that industry. You know, season ticket holders, their contracts with Sky Sports and things like that. Like, there's so much money, so that's why they then get paid a lot. And it's like with YouTubers, there's so much money in the advertising industry, that is why the pay scale is high. And obviously, unfortunately, there's so many other jobs that are hard jobs, they deserve a lot more pay, but the money ain't in the industry. Anyway, right, we're gonna cut it there because I feel like I've just been speaking for the longest time now and I need a cup of tea, and yeah, it's getting dark too. But anyway, I really hope you have enjoyed this little catch up, question and answer, assumption video about me. I feel like some of the questions I have answered before. But anyway, thank you also so much for watching, guys. If you are new here, do remember to give the video a thumbs up and also subscribe. And yeah, just see you all in my next video. Bye bye.